Can you do a mastery tier list? Which are the ones to work on first? I'm a newbie, by the way. Oh, that would be interesting to do as well, mastery tier list. Yo, that's a really good idea, actually. I can give you some quick advice for now, though. I would probably focus on the masteries of whatever expansion you're playing right now. So, like, if you're playing Heart of Thorns right now, I'd focus on Heart of Thorns masteries. Like, and again, personally, I recommend going for the expansions in order, but it's kind of up to you. It's kind of up to you in the end. Specific highlights though, in Quareia, Pact Commander, really, really good. Basically the final one of this mastery is incredible. This is auto loot. This basically enables a setting that lets you automatically loot any like loot that appears near to you. So like if you kill a mob or something, you don't have to press F to loot it. Like if anything dies close to you, you automatically loot it. Absolutely amazing. This mastery is super, super worth it. Other highlights. I think like every expansion basically has one highlight. I think for Heart of Thorns, the highlight is definitely gliding. Like basically, you know, gliding is just a neat thing to be able to do, and like it gets a lot better with these, right? Like you can get access to stuff like updrafts, you can get access to ley lines. At some point you can like glide forever without like running, you know, when your stamina runs out, you don't actually fall, but you just keep gliding slower. Really, really good as well. This is what I would focus on in Heart of Thorns. Buff of Fire, honestly, they're all good. They're all fantastic. These are mount masteries, right? So each one like upgrades different mounts. And like, I guess like to play for Buff of Fire, you will have to upgrade your mounts as you play the expansion. Right, to get like to certain areas in like Desert Highlands, you'll need to like upgrade your Springer, for example. So these are all worth working on. Personally, I really like the Griffin, but the Griffin is like a unlock that costs a significant amount of gold after you finish the expansion. So I'd probably just focus on like the first 4 and then, I don't know, work on unlocking the Griffin after. But the Griffin is super fun. Iceboot Saga, honestly, these masteries aren't super great. I think the Iceboot Saga masteries are a little bit not nearly as exciting as the other ones. Raven Attunement is pretty good for if you're exploring Biora, because it like lets you open like the Raven locks and stuff like that. You've got these Essence ones, these are really boring. It's basically the same mastery line 3 times, but for different colors. Upgrading them can be okay though, especially if you like to do Iceboot Saga Strikes, because you get more rewards from like the chests in Iceboot Saga Strikes if you upgrade these. So they're worth getting, but they're not super fun, I think. However, United Legion's Way Station, this is probably the best one in Iceboot Saga. This one lets you take stuff from the EMP, or from the Way Station. Like if somebody puts down a Way Station, it lets you take the EMP, for example. Which is like a free CC, so in lots of meta events, a commander will put down these way stations, and then if you have this mastery, you can take an EMP to do free CC. Super, super good. Also, a big highlight here, Mount Stealth. I always forget that this exists, but it's actually quite nice. Like if you're running around and you're having a bunch of mobs like following you, you can like boop, go stealth, or you can just like run past mobs. This is probably the most fun mastery in Iceboot Saga, because there's just not a lot of fun masteries in Iceboot Saga, so the bar's pretty low, I would say. Oh, also, I kind of forgot about these, but in Path of Fire, I also really like the Crystal Champion mastery line. This one gives all your mounts extra skills. So, for example, you can get Bond of Life, which will temporarily switch to your own health bar instead of your mount's health bar, which can help out, like if your mount is really low health. And you're about to like get knocked off, you can quickly switch to your own health bar. Bond of Vigor is amazing because it will boost your endurance generation. So if you're like jumping around, like let's say I'm on my Jackal, right? Like usually I can like do this like 3 times, maybe 4 times with the generation, right? But if I pop Bond of Vigor, then I can go super hard. Because like my endurance generation will get massively boosted. So look at how like I can just go like, whoa, 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 whoa. This one's super fun. So this is all in Crystal Champion from Living God Season 4. I really, really like Bond of Vigor. Bond of Faith is fun too, because it lets you launch off of your mount. So like, look, let's say I'm on my Sky Scale, and I want to just get on like a little ledge, and I'm like almost there. I can use Bond of Faith to like launch off my mount and get on top of something. So that's a big highlight too. Actually, like Crystal Champion, amazing mastery line. recommend this one too. Then Ice Boot Saga, most of them are kind of boring, like I said. End of Dragons has got pretty good ones. I would say Jade Bolt is honestly probably my favorite here. Honestly, they're all quite good. You know, fishing is very fun, but it's not for everybody, right? Not everybody's necessarily into fishing as much. Skiffs is pretty fun too. But at the same time, like, you don't... Honestly, you don't end up using the skiff that often. But it's like, especially if you like using the skiff, if you like to fish and stuff, for example, it's nice to upgrade it. Jade Bolt is pretty solid though. Jade Bolt gives you access to a whole bunch of like extra moves. So for example, there's a gliding booster. When you're gliding, you can go like whee with your Jade Bolt. Super, super fun one. Also, the Jade Tech waypoint is super fun. You can basically put down your own waypoints. It does go away when you leave the map though. But like, let's say like you're doing a meta event, you can put up your waypoints, and then if you die, you can just teleport to your own waypoints. So you can just get back to the fight really quickly. So look, I put my own little waypoints there. And now let's say I die like over here. Then I can just boop, waypoint back to my own waypoints I put down. Yeah, super handy for Epic, super handy for Dragon's End as well. Honestly, really good mastery line. Probably my favorites in EOD. Arborstone is pretty fun. Like, you just upgrade Arborstone as a hub, so you add like more NPCs and stuff. Globalization specifically is quite nice, because it lets you buy specific antique summoning stones that you need for the Arene Legendaries. And also, if you don't care about the Arene Legendaries, you can just go and buy them and then sell them to other people. So it's like basically free gold each week. So even if you don't care about Arborstone as a hub that much, I do recommend upgrading it just so you can buy those. I'm not sure if I've bought mine this week, so I'm gonna go check. I reckon that I have, because I've been streaming a lot this week. Yes, I have bought them, but like here you can buy those summoning stones, and you can sell them to other people, or you can use them yourself for legendaries. So I do recommend upgrading that one too. Turtle Mount's cool too, but honestly, yeah, the turtle is one of my lesser used mounts. It's very fun in certain meta events, and it's cool that you can have like 2 people, right? But I find that especially when I'm playing by myself, it's just a bit... It's quite sluggish to control, right? It makes sense considering it's a siege turtle, but just because it's a bit sluggish to control, I don't end up using it that often. I mean, still though, I like upgrading all my mounts, so it's worth getting, I think, too. Then, Secrets of the Obscure Masteries. Honestly, my favorite here is probably Flight Training. This one, it's sort of the second Sky Skill mastery line. So there's the Sky Skill line from like Puff of Fire from like Season 4, where you can get like upgrades for the Sky Skill and stuff. If you don't have like the Season 4 Sky Skill, you can get all of those upgrades here instead. But even if you already have the Season 4 one, you still get some nice bonuses and stuff. So like, for example, you can get the Fireball and the Sky Skill, which isn't in Season 4. You can also get stuff like Combat Launch, which is super, super nice. Like, it lets you, like, while you're in combat, like, mount up on your Sky Skill. There's, like, a bunch of nice stuff in here. For example, you can also, like, use updrafts with your mounts with this mastery line, which is super, super nice, too. Like, you couldn't use that before, but now you can. So this one's probably my favorite in Sodo. Heart of the Obscure is pretty decent if you like stuff like Rift Hunting. Also, you can use like special stuff in the Sodo maps, right? Like you can use the ley looms to like basically spawn a ley line that you can use. You can open like the arcane treasures and stuff. But this is a very Sodo one. Like you'll mostly be using this line in Sodo. You won't be using it that much outside of Sodo. Same with Astral Ward. Like, Astral Ward, like, it unlocks, like, a bunch of, like, vendors and stuff for you. You need it for obsidian armor crafting. You get some nice bonuses to, like, Rift Hunting, though. Like, you get some more essence when you Rift Hunt. Inner Nios is, like... honestly, most of these I don't really think about. I think a lot of this is, like, you know, like, you get, like, slightly more rewards from stuff you do in Sodo. Carry more essence, receive healing and effects while picking up essence. Yeah, this is like very much stuff that you would do in convergence and stuff, right? You get like more convergence rewards. Sieging Fireball's cool though. Make sure Sky Scale Fireball do siege damage. Janfair Vaults, final expansion we've got right now. I personally love the Rockclaw one, just because the Rockclaw is so fun to use, and I think a lot of these like Masteries are really fun. This final one is amazing too, by the way. But you've got stuff like no fall damage on the Rockclaw, you've got stuff like the mid-air jump, you've got stuff like doing damage while you dash through something. This one is super fun. I like this one a lot. Also, this one is amazing. Increases endurance generation for all mounts by 20%. This is not just the Rockclaw. This is on every single mount in the game that you've got. So like if you max this out, all of your mounts get upgraded pretty significantly. 20% more endurance is amazing, y'all. Actually, something that's super cool is if you get this one, and then also if you unlock the mount energy booster, and you unlock that, and you put it on your Jade Bolt, you get like the tier 3 one, you can get so much endurance generation that you can fly infinitely with your Griffin. Now, you can already do that if you're like doing tricks where you're like, you know, dashing and stuff, but you can just fly infinitely while you're not even doing any of that. Let me actually demonstrate that to you. Hold on. I can just like keep doing this without ever hitting the ground. You know, usually on the Griffin, you would hit the ground after doing this for a while, and you gotta like launch from somewhere up high, right? But you can just keep flying, which is actually like wild. And it's also just nice for other mounts, right? It's also nice for roller beetles and stuff, like you can boost a lot. But yeah, you can just like go around with your Griffin forever, which completely blows my mind that this is possible. So yeah, Rockclaw one, super, super fun. There's other nice ones too though. Lowlands Coden has got some nice bonuses. This is mostly stuff in Janfair, right? Like being able to use the beehives, being able to like get more map specific materials from like the nodes. You get like more experience in Janfair, stuff like that. So this is more like Janfair specific. Homesteading is just great because player housing, right? Like every tier unlocks like more recipes to buy from the different heart vendors. So basically this line, it just unlocks like more and more furniture for you to craft as you upgrade it. So yeah, if you like homesteading, definitely worth getting as well. I feel like now that I've gone through so many, I should go back for the other ones. Legendary crafting is nice if you're crafting Gen 1. However, you don't really need it. This is more specifically if you want to craft the precursors. But you can just buy the precursors. Often buying the precursors is cheaper. But I think you do need the final tier for Generation 2, don't you? Yes, Heart of Thorns legendary weapons. If you're doing them the Heart of Thorns routes, you do need the final tier here. Which is interesting, because it's not in the Heart of Thorns line. And then Fractal Attunements, great if you're doing fractals, right? You get access to Mistlock Singularity. This is like a thing you can interact with. And then basically, like, when you would go downstate, the Mistlock Singularity can save you once. Which is really, really helpful. And there's just other stuff in here. You can get, for example, like... it allows you to buy this Agony item that gives you bonus Agony resistance. Just if you like fractals, upgrade this one for sure. Heart of Thorns, most of these just kind of unlock more... Most of them just kind of unlock like more vendors and stuff like that. But there's some nice stuff in there. Like the Adrenal Mushrooms are great in the Itzel one. Exalted Markings is... you don't use this that much. I guess it's nice if you're in Tower. This one is not too great in my opinion. Newelch is kind of cool because you can use the wallows, right? The wallows that like teleport you around the map. So that one's pretty cool. But most of these are kind of in my opinion. The raid one is nice specifically for the first couple raids, but it's not super necessary, honestly. Ancient Magics, not the best, honestly. Hey, Mixtape 2 Fire, thank you so much for the prime. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for the support. Ancient Magics is not really like the most exciting one. Most of this is like very specific to the maps in Season 3. But they're kind of cool in those maps, right? Like, for example, Thermal Propulsion is cool. Like, it launches you with these, like, thermal vents. But you'll only really run into this in, like, those maps, right? Those, like, Season 3 maps. Oakheart's Reach is kind of cool. It lets you, like, do this Spider-Man swing. But you'll really only run into those specifically in Draconis Mons, for example. Siren of Ore, I've barely even ever used this. So it's not too great, this one, in my opinion. Spectral 8, it gives you an extra downstate skill, where you can, like, knock down enemies around you. Actually amazing in fractals, when you've got, like, one of those, like, fractal instabilities where like an enemy goes and finishes you, you can use the Spectral 8 skill to knock them down. Super, super good. That is actually worth going for in the Season 3 line. I kind of forgot about that one. But yeah, that's basically all the masteries, y'all. Oh my gosh. Maybe I'll put this on the highlight channel.